You are listening to the Workbench After Hours podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to the Second Amendment, where we talk about firearms, everything that's going on in the gun community, and we even review a different whiskey every week. This week's episode, number 73, Chris and I go over setting up our new YouTube channel using the tactical walls that you see behind me. We also discuss why we think the ATF and or the NFA should be disbanded, and we're trying Evan Williams as a whiskey of the week. Welcome to episode 73. Chris is with me here again today. And Chris, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Evan Williams. This will be interesting. Kentucky's first distiller. I did not know that. So,
out of the last 72 episodes, we have not tried just regular Evan Williams.
Nope. We've done their small batch, which we were really surprised by. We've done their single barrel, which we were about. So let's try.
So we figured, hell,
let's try.
This is overdue.
Yeah. Do we even open this? I don't know if we opened it or not.
I thought I did.
Twist cap.
I think it's
a twist cap.
It's cheap, remember?
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
I think I got this on sale for like 14 or 15 bucks.
Yeah. I had one guy I worked with, and his name was Evan Williams, and this is all he ever drank because it was his name.
I mean, I guess you can't blame him there.
Yeah.
Definitely getting caramel and vanilla right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's like your just traditional like whiskey bourbon.
Man, it kind of reminds me of Jack Daniels, almost.
A little bit.
A little bit. 86 proof. So we should be getting light with deep vanilla and mint. Are you getting any mint?
I'm not getting mint. I'm definitely getting the like vanilla, oak, caramel flavors.
And on the taste, we should be getting notes of oak, brown sugar, and caramel. The medium to long finish.
I don't think it's a medium long finish. I think it's a long finish.
For as many times as we kind of bashed Evan Williams, we're like, oh, that's garbage. We're never going to try that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad, actually.
I could drink this all day long, I think.
Yeah, I can drink this neat.
Yeah.
We're actually going to see what it tastes like on the rocks. I'm sure it'll...
Maybe change.
Yeah.
But
Again, I'm not getting any mint.
No, I don't get the mint, but I don't know if you're supposed to get that on the taste or not. It says medium to long. I think it's more of a long lasting. It really coats your palate.
It does, especially with that oaky spice to it. Kind of feel bad for knocking it for so long.
Yep.
It's not that bad.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you're the first distiller. You get time to actually come up with a good recipe and keep it going.
Evan Williams, who opened Kentucky's first distillery along the banks of the Ohio River in 1783.
I don't understand. It says it's aged for longer than required by law. What's the law on aging whiskey?
I don't know.
It says that on the bottle too, but it doesn't tell you how long it's been aged.
Extra aged in oak.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably like Jack Daniels where they don't tell you how many years they mature it.
Yeah.
The same thing with this.
Probably 4 or 5 years.
Probably.
I wonder what the law is. Maybe we should look that up.
Yeah.
I'm sure the ATF would know.
So if you guys are watching on the YouTube channel, and you will notice a little bit different setup. Actually, a lot different.
A lot different.
So we have been talking about this for about a month now or so, and it finally happened. Chris and I took, Saturday?
Yeah.
Put up these wall panels. They're tactical mod wall panels from Tactical Walls. Pretty easy to install.
As long as you can find the stud.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'll have a video coming out on us installing these, but the stud finder I was using, it found me, but it could not find the studs in the wall.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Like I had marked them, and then we lined it up to where it should have been center of the stud, and no.
Never.
No. We got, on each panel, we got at least 2 good studs.
Yep.
And then the ones, of course, on the ends where you really want it in the stud, we had to kind of angle it in to kind of hit it. So, yeah.
We'll find out after a couple of years, hopefully.
Yep. So the original goal was, because this is a 11 foot by 11 inches long, and then about, 8 feet tall, but there's an angle in the ceiling, up there by the ceiling.
Yeah.
So I was originally going to go with 3 panels across and then 3 high. Well, the panels are 3 feet in length.
Yep.
And so without having to cut them, they wouldn't fit. So We could cut those because they're easily cuttable. They're just a polymer
they're
material.
easy to go through.
Yeah, it even says you could cut them in the instructions, which is fine. But I didn't want to do that. So we decided instead of doing all 9 panels, we'll just do 6. So we have 2 rows of 3 behind us, and it does a good job. I think we're going to work with changing the seating to raise the table to get that up higher. We're like, well, I could drop it down, like everything on there, but it's kind of a pain.
It's pain in the butt. We kept messing with them and like sliding them in and out. We're like, oh my God. Because if the ones that we angled the screws, it kept hitting and then it was a pain in the butt to get those in.
Yeah, so there's like on these accessories, there's screws in the back that actually slide into these tracks, and you insert them in the holes that are in the panels. Well, of course, because we had to angle some of the screws, we were limited on that, and ended up being a little bit tougher. Just not because of the design, it's just because we didn't hit the studs correctly. So
stupid stud finders.
But I'm like, you know what? It's a black wall. I painted that black, so even if there's not full wall panels, it'll still look all right. Which we were playing with the lighting before this quite a bit, trying to get it lit, balanced, because with our other setup, we weren't against a black wall or anything. So you know, lighting didn't have to be quite as balanced. We had a bunch of background lights as well. When we sat here and I did our regular key light and then our overhead light, Chris's corner was really dark. And so we're so
dark you couldn't even see the shotgun.
Yes. So we were trying to play with, okay, well, in the regular studio, we had an accent light of red and blue. So I set those up and it was oversaturated, I think.
It made it seem like the police, we were part of the police or something.
So that, I don't know, maybe we'll play with that a little bit, but we went with just the standard daylights and got them even. So unfortunately, we have 3 lights now.
But we did gain the best thing ever.
What's that?
The ceiling fan. We can say cool.
Because of where the desk was last time, the light that was overhead was actually blocking the fan. So now it's not. And because this room is over a garage and it's hot in the summertime.
I've learned this weekend how much I really enjoy my AC. Especially when it goes out on these hot 90-degree days in the beginning of May.
It's been hotter than it should be. For this
and they kept saying there's supposed to be rain, but I've not seen any.
No.
Dang it.
All right, so take a break from that. I'm going to grab the glasses so we can try these on the rocks.
See how it changes it, or if it does. I think this wall is, I was actually kind of surprised how easy it kind of was. Since they already kind of pre-drilled the holes too for you, which I thought was a very nice quality to have.
And they spaced the holes 16 inches apart, so that way you're going to hit the stud.
If the stud finder works, which stud finders never seem to work for some reason.
And of course, because we wanted to center them in, since we weren't doing the whole wall, we wanted the 6 panels here to be centered. Well, guess what wasn't in the very center? A stud. So we had to offset it a little bit. So it looks fine now just because of the way we have the camera. But if you look at the panels overall on the wall, they're about an inch and a half off center. Not a big deal, but I'm
OCD like that.
Yes. It's gonna drive me nuts.
It's crazy how many I know at work when we were building one of our office rooms, we realized how off level and zero everything was. And it's just like, how do they build stuff like this?
It took a little while. I mean, you definitely need 2 people. Possibly 3. Because what we did is I had Chris, we basically kept it just, a quarter inch from the ceiling, the very first one. So these actually go up to the ceiling. And so Chris held on to it. I had the other end, and he screwed in 1 screw. And then we put a level on the bottom of the panel to level it. And then we tacked in another one. So it works with 2 people. It's easy to do, I guess. We made it work.
We also pre-drilled some of the holes so the screw would already start for us. It would make it easier so we're not fumbling screws.
Yes. I was the one who kept dropping the screws because I don't know. Yeah, it worked. And then, unfortunately, we are both indecisive.
Yes, we are.
So trying to figure out how to place the stuff on the actual walls took us probably longer than installing the panels.
Probably.
Because we're like, well, what guns do we do? And how do we have them? Because they, included this stuff, the accessories for us. And we're like, We got shelves. What should we do with the shelves? I want to put at least one shelf of whiskey, which you can see in the center of us. But yeah, and then we got another one up top with just some ammo and Eclipse holster up there. That is actually my wife's for her gun. And I think there's a Sig Romeo 5 red dot up there next to a can of Ballistol.
Yep.
and a really expensive Sharps bolt carrier group sitting up there too.
It's the fancy shelf.
Yes. So when we up the angle a little bit, you'll see at the very top above that shotgun is a Mosin Nagant.
Yeah.
So you can't see it in the picture right now, but once we raise everything and we're like, well, what handguns did we put up? I mean, trying to figure out.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
What handgun to put up? Well, this one looks like this one. This one looks like that. Oh, man.
Yep. And you'll see we got a holder for both pistol mags and AR mags.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're kind of blocked by my shoulder because YouTube doesn't like those standard capacity mags.
Yeah, crazy.
So you can't, unless I move, like, you're not going to be able to tell.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then we got a AR 500 plate carrier up there. So I took the plates out because they're heavy. And we didn't hit some studs. So I didn't want the weight of both those plates in that plate carrier. So unfortunately, it's just the plate carrier with no plates.
Yeah.
But it still looks cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Notice you have the same theme that I like on guns.
That flat dark earth.
Flat dark earth and black.
Yes. This Smith & Wesson right up here.
Yep.
Chris's dream gun.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite guns.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for sale.
Yeah, I know, but I bought a Glock instead. That was FDE.
You know.
I know. I just need to save some money. Save some monies.
So yeah, so this is going to be the new backdrop for the Boomstick Tactical LLC channel in the podcast. It's nice because there's a lot more room to move around in the actual room. This desk isn't now blocking the door, so that's nice. But the bad thing is when I do stuff for the Shotgun Studio channel, I don't want this background, so I'm going to have to rotate the desk 90 degrees and move the lights and the camera. Basically, rotate everything 90 degrees.
Yep.
And the couch, the recliner is going to have
look like a lazy Susan and put everything on it and just whoop and then lock it in place.
Or just expand this room, like build it out.
Yeah.
Like I wish there's a jet out wall here that serves no purpose because there's like a attic cubby.
Yeah.
And it's useless.
Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't push that wall all the way, make it just flat.
It would have been nice.
Jeez.
It would have made for a lot more room to work with in here, that's for sure. Guess they weren't thinking about having a YouTube studio.
Probably not. There's no bedroom. Hurry up.
So yeah, we'll keep a lookout. I don't know when I'll get it finished, but there'll be I think there's a 48-minute long video of us putting up the panels that I have to kind of scrub through and then do a kind of a fast forward of that.
Yeah.
It'll be and then I'll have to do some voiceovers, some before and after stuff. So it's gonna take me a little while to edit that video, but we will have that up.
Yeah, it was. I was quite surprised on how easy it was. Mm-hmm. They almost remind me of the fast tracks that I have in my garage.
Yeah.
And then I went on their website and they have tool ones too, and I was like, ooh. I was like, nope, I'm not going down that rabbit hole again.
Yeah, they got a bunch of different accessories besides the ones that we have up here.
Yeah.
Different ways to hang your guns. So this is just what we put up right now for now. And it'll probably be ever changing, especially if I decide to sell some of those or change them out or get something new. Maybe you want to talk about it, put it on the wall behind us. And
that could be a cool theme.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today? Let's go to the wall.
There you go. So yeah, that's our new setup.
Yeah, I like it.
I do. I love the fan on us right now.
Yeah, I know.
This is the last probably 3 podcasts. By the time we're done, I am just sweat all over just because it's so hot. There is no air movement. And then you have the lights on top of you.
Yeah.
Putting out some heat. So
much better.
Yes.
So much room for exercise.
Yep. But I'm not looking forward to doing Shotgun Studio now because I got to move everything. It's like,
I guess you just need to go buy it. Take your other room. Just turn that into your studio.
But I like
2 studios.
I liked that backdrop that we had with the
or do a green screen
right.
with the same picture.
I thought about doing that. So they have Elgato makes a folding green screen. I just don't know. You got to have the lighting really good on that to make that work right. I don't know.
Might be worth a try.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's just go get a green sheet.
There's a
and see what
green
happens.
screen check mark in this Ecamm Live. I could just do that and
Yeah. We should just go get a green sheet and see how well it does
yeah.
as a test.
Well, yeah. Or Elgato, if you're listening and want to sponsor a video.
Yeah, there you go.
Send us
a green screen.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to review it and play with it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for stuff for us to put up on the wall, let us know. Or if we should do some different lighting, might do some accent lightings somehow up there. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a work in progress. So this is just we threw it up. Chris was like, "Hey, we got to do a podcast earlier this week." I'm like, "Oh boy,
yeah,
I gotta set everything up." So worked out. So this is obviously gonna change, but
it's cool. I like it.
Yeah, there's still enough room for 3 or 4 people.
Oh yeah, easy.
Around.
Yeah, I don't know. I like just having the fan.
Yeah.
The air. It's like, oh, it's so nice and cool.
Cool. Well, Chris, you had the topic of this week, right?
Yeah. So
what was your assignment? Actually, it was just something you came up with.
So I've been going down the interwebs of YouTube, and I kept watching the ATF director, which I think is a complete dweeb by the way he looks and talks. And he was getting questioning. I don't know if it was the House. I think it's who it was, the House. And they kept questioning him and grilling him, and he really either he doesn't know his job or he's just that dumb. So
yeah, you showed me some videos last week because I hadn't watched any of them.
Yeah,
and man, it's like that guy's the ATF director.
Yeah, like when he's like, anything. Well, what could you do if you don't want to do an SBR? And he's like, well, you could take it and detach it. And I was like, wait a second. If you detach it, wouldn't that make it an SBR right then and there?
Yeah, wasn't there something in the pistol brace ruling that we read through to where I don't know, was there something where you couldn't have it?
Yeah, something like that. And he kept saying that the reason why they're coming up with this rule is that they didn't approve that pistol brace. Like people kept changing it, and they never got the permission from ATF, even though the ATF said it does not matter what it is. Twice, as one of the representatives kept saying, you wrote not just once but twice, told the American people this is okay, and you can shoulder it. And now they're going back on their word.
You know, it's the ATF.
Yeah,
they can do what they want, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Write laws.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they kept bringing up like how the bump stock rule, how it's got overthrown. They're like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the same way. But the director, he was just, he seems like he didn't know anything about his job and what they were talking about.
I know one video you showed me was Matt Getz.
Yeah.
Right? And then who was the other guy? I've never heard of this guy before.
Jim, God dang.
Somebody from Ohio, right?
Yeah, it was a representative from Ohio. Jim, God, I can't remember his last name.
But yeah, these guys were drilling this ATF director, and the ATF director reminded me of somebody that's in a mafia movie that is, you know, sometimes there's a big dumb mafia guy, really stupid.
Yeah.
Reminds me of him. Yeah. I'm like, man, you'd be one of the first ones to get offed.
Yeah, I think Matt really drilled him on like, hey, you guys kept records that you shouldn't have had, and you lost guns that you shouldn't have even had, and then you kept guns that you shouldn't have had. He's like, what do you expect? You're trying to sit there and have the American citizens follow all your guys' rules, but you can't follow your own rules, and you're breaking them, and they're even worse than what a regular citizen would do. And I was like, that makes no sense whatsoever. I was like, I really wish they could find themselves or have another entity come in and go, nope, 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 nope. Here's your fine, or you are disbanded.
How many guns has the ATF lost?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Is it a difficult question to understand?
Well, I don't know if you're referring to any particular incident or time
How many
period.
instances should we be looking at where you've lost guns?
So if what you're referring to is what happened at the National Destruction Branch, no guns were lost. They were stolen by an individual who's now in prison. who was not an ATF employee.
But there were recommendations made on what you should do so that you don't become the victim of the theft, and the Inspector General saying you're not following them. I'm quoting directly from the Inspector General's report. Thousands of firearms parts, and ammunition had been stolen from the ATF. So you gave testimony that the brave ATF agents are the ones showing up at 2 a.m. after a burglary, but it seems as though in this case, you were the one burglarized. Why have you not followed the recommendations of the Office of Inspector General so that you aren't the mark?
Again, I want to say that it is brave women men and women of ATF who do this. That's not a cliche.
I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing.
They're
getting robbed on one hand, so you can't keep a hold of the guns you're supposed to have. But then you do keep a hold of a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to have a hold of. The GAO report, firearms data, ATF did not always comply with the Appropriations Act restriction and should better adhere to its policies. As a result of breaking the law, didn't you guys have to go and delete like 250,000 records that you illegally kept?
Again, with respect to both the Inspector General reports that you're talking about.
Nope, one's Inspector General, one's GAO.
Well, the Inspector General report, ATF, that happened several years ago, more than that.
2022.
And ATF has, the report came out, but the theft, and ATF has implemented numerous different safety measures with respect to the National Destructive Branch.
Well, I mean, I'm reading to you from the report from last year, Mr. Director. We found that the NDB staff does not currently in 2022, adhere to established operating procedures in place to mitigate risk of firearms being lost and stolen. So I guess that shows an ATF that is not functioning correctly and is not responding to the problems you create. You keep records you're not supposed to. It was 250,000 of them you had to delete, right?
I don't believe that is.
Was it over 200,000 that you had to delete?
So what was happening was.
I just want to know the number of records you had to delete that were not being lawfully maintained.
There were records that had not actually been searched, but my understanding
hundreds of
is
thousands
were searchable.
And so that's what you guys do. You keep what you shouldn't keep. You lose what you're not supposed to lose.
Respectfully, Congress has given us the authority to inspect and make sure that firearms dealers, the vast majority by the which are compliant, they are our first line of defense in dealing with straw purchases.
This guy isn't your first line of defense anymore. He's fired.
A very small minority, those dealers, after due process, have been determined.
A small minority, ATF, enforcer of gun laws, lost thousands of firearm parts to thieves. New data shows ATF gun store restrictions at the highest rate in 16 years. Mr. Director, the definition of hypocrisy is when you can't live up to your own standard. So you have imposed a zero tolerance policy that is resulting in the highest rate of revocations in 16 years, and you wouldn't be able to meet your own zero tolerance policy because you lose stuff you're supposed to keep, and then you keep stuff that it's illegal to keep. And by the way, I am one of those MAGA Republicans that would defund your salary, your agency, and I think all these good things that you say exist could happen with those folks at the local and state level, and this is a terrible abuse of power.
And they're not supposed to make law.
Yeah.
Which is what they're trying to do with the pistol brace ruling and everything else that they keep changing their minds on. And it's like, no, like the pistol brace has been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
Over a decade now.
Yeah.
When you purchased those, especially the SBA 3 ones, it came with a letter from the ATF that said, this is legal as long as you don't change it in any way. You don't like fill the void or anything where your arm is supposed to go. As long as you keep it as is.
Yep.
Not an SBR. But so millions of people bought those, and all of a sudden, Mr. Dumb Mafia guy, you want to freaking just change, like, and I think it was Matt Getz or maybe the other guy was saying that you're just going to make millions of people felons overnight.
Yeah, I think that was Jim. He was talking about that. And he had he's like, well, we wouldn't make them all overnight. It'd be on a basis.
Yes.
Remember he was talking about that? And he's like, we wouldn't go in there and just act like look for it. But like if you got on a drug charge or something, yeah, we're going to go in there and we're going to look for Glock switches and machine guns and pistol braces. It's like, what the fuck is this rule for then?
Yeah. It's a case-by-case basis. Okay, so that's up to... that could be really bad. Like,
yeah.
So this guy had the same situation as this guy, but you saw it differently.
Yeah.
So this guy's going to go to jail for 10 years, and this guy just gets off with a warning.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like,
It made no sense.
it should be black and white.
Yeah.
Like,
Same for both.
yeah, that's when it's left to interpretation. That is not a good.
That's a gray area.
Especially when you're facing that much jail time, fines. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he said that in front of him. I was like, whoa, what the? This guy is the director? Really? I think I could do a better job at BSing than this guy.
Yeah, like he could not come up with an answer. Like he seemed dumbfounded the entire time. It's like, how long? I would like to know how long he's been the director.
Yeah.
I
think he admitted that he wasn't an expert. I was like, how are you not an expert and you're in a director role? You'd have to be an expert in, I would think, all of the categories of the ATF to be a director.
Know everything in and out about firearms, especially, the NFA Act, everything to do with that. How guns are, like, you should know.
Yeah.
You should be very fluent in guns. Not like, well, at least we didn't hear him say, call a magazine a clip.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to that.
But,
I'm sure he probably did at one point.
Yeah, he should be extremely fluent in the gun lingo, how everything works, and obviously tobacco and
alcohol and explosive. Yeah.
Like you need to be an expert in all those areas
to be a director.
Yes.
Except with the ATF, they don't even claim to be experts. The director said so last week. Last week in a hearing in front of Congress in the Appropriations Committee, he was asked about firearms. He said, I'm not an expert in firearms. Not an expert, but still trying to run Americans' lives. You would think the head of the agency tasked with regulating the entire firearms industry, a constitutionally protected industry, would know something about firearms.
Yeah,
because when you're on a stand like that, getting drilled, you look like a fucking idiot.
And that's exactly what he looked like.
It's like, is this guy related to Joe Biden? Because I feel like that's...
He kept trying to like, whoa. I was like, dude, just shut. And then like, he couldn't give him an answer either. That was what I was like, it's a yes or no question. Can you give me that? Well, it's not that simple. Well, yes, it is. It's a yes or no question. And it's like, man.
So yeah, the fact that the ATF is trying to make these laws.
Earlier this year, the ATF issued a rule that unilaterally puts new restrictions on Second Amendment rights. This rule redefined firearms with stabilizing braces as short-barreled rifles so that they could be controlled under the Gun Control Act of 1968, the National Firearms Act of 1934. There are approximately 40 million firearms with stabilizing braces currently in circulation. The pistol brace was created for use by disabled persons, including disabled veterans. Under the new rule, these firearm owners will be required to obtain special registration, surrender or destroy their brace by the compliance date, or they will face severe criminal penalties. This is not the result of a decision made by Congress. Congress didn't change the law. No bill was introduced in this committee, passed by this committee, passed by the House, passed by the Senate, and signed by the President. Nope. This rule turns law-abiding gun owners into felons is a result of unelected bureaucrats simply enacting a new regulation. And that's not how it's supposed to work in our great country. Congress writes the laws and the executive branch enforces them. Here, the executive branch has taken power from Congress in deciding what the law should be and that they charge themselves with enforcing. Director Dettelbach has in essence become a one-man Congress. Notably, this decision runs counter to the ATF decision under President Obama in 2012 that a firearm equipped with a stabilizing brace was, quote, would not be subject to the National Firearms Act and those controls.
We've said it before. They should be disbanded.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least get rid of the freaking firearms division of this.
Yeah.
Let the local states
take care of that,
which they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, yeah, some are doing some really good things with, you know, constitutional carry and everything like that, which is awesome. But then you have the flip side. Like we said, both our coasts are going to get fucked from invasion because they're wanting to ban 90% of guns, basically.
Which is crazy to me.
So, like the ATF, what do you do other than inconvenience the law-abiding citizen? You're not going after those Glock switches in Chicago, as you say.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to focus on people and gangs with these things or something used in a crime. shouldn't that be what you're doing anyway?
Yeah.
Like,
He kept saying that. Well, we would focus more on like the gangs and stuff. I was like, well, that's your job, I would think.
so focus on the Glock switches and the actual short barrel rifles that are illegal
yeah.
by those gang members, and stop trying to make the law-abiding citizens.
Yeah. Felons overnight,
Yes.
pretty much. Yeah. I was just like, wow. And then when he's like, well, when they're like, what are the 4 things that's going to happen if they don't do this by May 31st? And he was just like, he couldn't answer it. I was like, what?
Yep,
You're the
that's
director. You should
coming
know.
up real quick.
Yeah, you should know what the 4 things are that you have to do for if you do have one of these pistol braces. And he's like, well, the first thing you do is detach it and separate it. I was like, well, if that's a buffer tube, wouldn't that make it an SBR if it's a pistol already? So you can't do that without filing for your NFA item for SBR.
And that's another thing is technically, because it said anything about a shoulderable surface.
Yeah.
You can technically shoulder a buffer tube.
Well, they even went back and Jim said back in like 2014, they sent out a letter. The ATF sent out a letter saying it was okay that it doesn't modify the weapon in any way if you do shoulder it. So now they're saying it's not okay, even though in 2014 they said it was okay. And then in 2010 they said pistol braces were fine. Like, what happened within this 10-year window?
And they say they've been going, it's because all these other manufacturers have made similar things that they haven't approved. Okay, so then focus on those.
Yeah.
SBA Tactical, you've approved all of theirs.
Yeah.
Everybody that should have them is fine. Do a little bit more research on like the other ones and make them go through the same approval process that SBA Tactical had to. Like, go that route and just don't
because
basically ban these.
I was kind of curious. Like once he said that, I was like, okay, so what about like these big gun manufacturers? Like let's say Springfield, if they made one with a pistol brace, did they have to get that approved before they manufacture it? That'd be a question I would want to ask the ATF director. Because if not, well, isn't that an issue? You're letting manufacturers just make whatever the hell they want. You're not like, hey, hold on. You can't do that. Here's why.
Yeah.
Or are they pulling the patent and paying someone with that patent?
ATF director subtitle: Disarm law-abiding Americans.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm a dumbass. It should be his title.
So this guy either needs to be fired,
Yeah.
or we just get rid of the ATF.
Wait a second. Didn't they pay people on how to sit on trial?
Yeah. How
Why
to
couldn't
convince
they-
a jury.
Yeah, convince a jury. Why can't they do this to their fucking director?
How to come up with a response against senators.
Yeah. That might be somewhat gun advocates or not.
Yeah. Like, read the...
'Cause there's even Democrats in there that I was watching like other videos and they were grilling him, and I was like, damn, that's a Democrat saying this? That's kind of scary.
Anybody that read that ruling could have easily have answered those questions.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't either read it, or he doesn't understand it, or just is...
Yeah, I was just, when he was like, well, you can destroy it, you can get rid of it, you can separate it. But I was like, well, if you separate it, at that point, if it doesn't it'd become an SBR automatically, you have to file for that. I was, okay, cool.
It's called a shit show.
So I can literally, it's almost like if you go to court, well, the director said it was okay right there on to the Senate that I could detach it. And that was it. He didn't say anything about applying for an NFA.
But then I
item.
go back, oh, well, it's up to interpretation. Like, it's a case-by-case basis. So, Chris, you can't do that, but this guy over here can do it.
This is bullshit.
Yeah. It was...
Yeah.
It's like they need to revisit the NFA Act, because there is no reason a short barrel rifle or shotgun should be on there, let alone suppressors.
Yeah. Full autos, I'm
Sure.
okay with that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't see the purpose of short barrel rifles or suppressors or, that's bullshit.
As we've said before, a suppressor is basically a form of PPE.
Yeah.
It's protecting your hearing, because if you've ever shot, say a AR-15, they're pretty loud.
Even with double earmuffs and
Yes.
everything, it's still loud.
Indoors, it if you shoot them for a long period of time, my ears hurt.
Yeah.
So I now like to shoot mine suppressed, and I still wear earmuffs when I'm shooting suppressed, just because my ears suck.
I mean, your 22 did sound like a BB gun when it was suppressed. So I was like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah. But like the regular AR, if you're not running subsonic ammo, I'm going to still wear earplugs.
Yep.
It's nothing like, I think because it's freaking Hollywood, makes it seem like you can just go in and kill a bunch of people without anybody hearing that gunshot, which there is not a suppressor out there that will do that.
Yeah, if there was, there'd be people copying and making I'm selling it on the black market.
I would buy one for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not like that.
Yeah.
Freaking Hollywood. And so, they're part of that NFA Act, which they shouldn't be because they would benefit the public.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go outdoors and shoot it out in the country, but your neighbor kind of is like, doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Throw on some cans, suppress the sound a little bit. So,
it doesn't cause a problem.
yes.
But, hey.
And it adds a whole bunch of weight and length on the end of your gun. So really, I don't think a bunch of criminals are going to start using suppressors.
No.
Because they just make the gun more awkward. Like shooting my Glock 21 with a suppressor on it.
It's heavy.
It is. It is front heavy and
like you
awkward.
almost got to like adjust because for the weight.
And you have to have the suppressor height sights.
Yep.
So you're not going to be able to go rob people on the streets or anything with a suppressor on a gun because it's like super long, super awkward. You're gonna, when they try and pull it out, I'm sure it's gonna get stuck or something. So we don't actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
and short barrel rifles and shotguns. How is that? They're less accurate.
Yeah,
they're louder, which they do need to be suppressed at that point too. And they're like, oh well, you can conceal it.
What can't you conceal?
Right? If I have a big enough bag, I can take apart my AR, upper and lower, put it in the bag.
Yep. The gym bags are pretty big.
Yeah.
Carry-on luggage pretty big.
Yeah. So it's not.
I mean,
the criminals aren't going to be using those. No. I mean, they might get them because they think it's cool or whatever, and there are going to be would-be crimes with those guns, but they're going to be less accurate. They're going to be super loud, so people are going to know, oh my God, a gunshot.
Yeah.
Versus, just a regular AR or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with full-fledged autos being an NFA item. I have no problem with that.
You should be able to still own a full auto.
Yeah.
You just have to go through
some paperwork.
I don't think they should be as expensive as they are, as long as you can get the right paperwork and background check and all that stuff done on them. Yes, those need to be regulated just to keep them out of the wrong hands.
Yep.
But everything else on there, SBRs, SB.
What do you think about a Glock switch? You think a Glock switch should be on there?
No, because, again, that would fall under full auto. So anything to make your gun full auto, we can let them have that win.
Yeah.
Because that, again, like you're seeing, you just get a bunch of kids in Chicago that aren't supposed to have pistols anyway. They'd be able to get the Glock switches and then you have that situation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, why not? Because the ATF doesn't do anything about it. They're just coming after us instead of those guys. They're going after those guys.
They'll look for it if something comes up like a drug charge, as the director would say, or a gang-related issue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure.
You don't have enough jail space to house all these gang members. What are you going to do with these law-abiding citizens that are about to be felons?
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I was just like, really? And then when I couldn't believe that you didn't see any of it. That was more shocking to me.
Oh, because guess what? Mainstream media isn't going to report on any of that.
Yeah, it was definitely all over YouTube.
Yep. So after you showed me that, then I started seeing that, of course, pop up on my channel. But I mean, I had no idea, and because pro-gun senators drilling an ATF agent.
Yeah.
CNN doesn't want to show that. MSNBC doesn't want to show that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, a lot of people don't realize. Like, Kat sent me something the other day, too, and kind of made me laugh. It was like Biden talking about, you need to reelect, or we need to win this election, and reelect Donald Trump. Is what Biden said. And I was like, what the fuck?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So you putting in for that?
Yeah, watching that guy.
If you want a good laugh, just watch Joe Biden.
It's not even a good laugh. It's like, wow, this is the leader of the free world, and this is what the rest of the world sees.
Yeah. We're a laughing stock.
Yeah, pretty much. There's some other news outlets. I don't know how well affiliated they are, especially like there's one in Australia. I forgot what the name of it is, but they're always bashing Biden and stuff like that. It's like, man.
Yeah, I was also listening to some other podcast, and they were talking about the reason why they don't want to teach the Constitution in schools. And they're like, it's because of right now how the government's acting and being tyranny, we should be overthrowing them. And they're scared, so that's why they want to separate us.
Right? They want to divide the country.
Yep.
Get them off that topic, and then take our guns away.
Yeah, and so they can have control.
Yep.
Which is, oh my gosh, it's a whole other topic. But I keep seeing that stuff pop up, and I'm like, man, these kids probably don't even know.
So what do you think of Evan Williams on the rocks?
It's not bad. I could drink it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite.
Yeah,
but
it's
for $15,
you're not gonna beat it,
right? I still prefer Jack Daniel's number 7.
I do too.
But that's
if you're in a pinch
another
and
$10.
money was hurting.
Yeah, $15 versus $27.28.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the taste of Jack Daniel's that I just really like.
Yeah, unless we're in a blind taste.
Yes, we won't bring up that podcast.
Yep. Yeah, that was bad.
You said, "Oh, this is the worst one. It's disgusting. It has to be Evan Williams." Nope. Turns out it was Jack Daniel's, one that we drink frequently.
Yeah, all the time. Must have just been a bad bottle.
We should. Yeah. We aren't getting sponsored by Jack Daniel's if they see that one.
Nope, but we do love them.
So what else? Did you see anything else on the ATF or anything?
I've just been hearing that there's been talk about trying to disband them, which I'm sure that's just talk and it's not actually going to come to fruition like I wish it would.
Right.
Because I think they need to do that to the ATF, FBI.
I mean, I'm fine with the FBI.
I'm not.
Why?
Because of the whole TikTok thing. Did you hear about that? Oh, gosh. Here we go. So during the election,
okay,
Twitter was not putting out they're misleading the American people. We'll say that.
Okay.
So I found out later that the FBI was in part of like, hey, we're trying to get Joe Biden elected. This is what you need to put out. Just keep pushing this. And then eventually FBI started working in TikTok and had their own little division, messed with the whole election. And then when Elon got it, now 80% of the people that were working there before he had it are gone.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw that it was down to like 1,000 employees.
Yeah.
Because they were going bankrupt.
Yep. But he says, yeah, it's kind of crazy when you're running a social media that's free speech and...
Oh, there's nothing free speech about any social media platforms.
Yeah, but he's like, and you're not trying to push a narrative on people. But yeah, the FBI was working inside TikTok and working for the Democrats.
Weren't they wanting to ban TikTok now? I mean, they pretty much banned it from all.
I know where I work. I got a funny email Friday afternoon saying TikTok is now banned from our network, and any devices cannot connect to it. You can do it still on your cellular, but if you're hooked up to Wi-Fi, you can't.
Because they think the Chinese government is stuck. You know what? They probably have enough information on this from that damn spy balloon.
Probably.
That Joe Biden just let go.
Yep.
No, I'm sure there's other ways that they're collecting data from about us other than just freaking TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy.
But yeah, I can definitely see that if you have enough money and power,
you can persuade anybody.
You have enough pull in whatever platform to, hey, make this algorithm to kind of push this agenda.
Yeah.
Don't let this stuff kind of show up.
Well, that and with AI now.
Oh, God, yeah.
That you don't know what to believe anymore.
Maybe we'll use AI to edit this podcast.
Maybe.
I've seen a lot.
Cool.
I've seen a lot doing editing. It takes out a lot of like the dead space and stuff.
Yeah.
It can do multicam. So if we had a multicam set up,
Jeez,
it
that'd
would
be crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how much it costs, but
Well, they got that chatter box or chat box, whatever.
Chat GTP.
Yeah. I want to try it, mess around with it. I have a couple ideas. I want to see if any of them are true.
I kind of want to stay away from all of that.
I do, but I want to try something to see if it actually works. And maybe win a lot of money doing it.
You could write a whole podcast script.
I know.
Or have it write one.
I
Of course,
actually-
I don't know. Does it like guns? I mean, is it programmed to steer you away or give you wrong information about firearms?
I don't know. We should test it out.
Hey,
What is the Second Amendment?
is it Siri or is it something different? Is it, what do you call it?
I don't know.
Hey, AI, write me a podcast about how much the ATF sucks.
And the Second Amendment, what
Right.
it means. And if we should have it. That'd be funny.
See what that says. That'd be something good to try.
Because I know people are using it for like writing essays now at school.
Oh yeah.
And papers. I was like, where was this when I was doing my master's? I'm sure it was probably there. I just didn't know about it.
Yeah, like how do you, if somebody just wrote a paper through, say, Chat GPT or whatever it is, how would you know if that person wrote it or not?
Well, the thing is, too, that you can also tell it, hey, I need to have so many errors in it so it looks like it's authentic from you, like your rough draft. And it'll cite your sources and everything. How would you like to be at school now trying to figure out papers? This is really good. You're really smart.
yeah.
Oh, thanks. It took me 2 minutes.
I remember being in school, they made us go to the actual library,
Yeah.
look stuff up. We
Going
weren't
to
allowed
the
to use
old
the internet.
catalogs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
God.
Tell a kid to go do research using books only. They're like, what?
What is that?
Use an encyclopedia? You mean encyclopedia.com or
Yeah.
wiki whatever? No, like there's actual books.
Yeah. Like I went to because the kids, they like going to the library every once in a while. And I just go and look and I was like, man, where are all the books? Like a majority of them are gone. And a lot of it's now more computer based. They got like 3D printing and they'll even teach you how to use a 3D printer.
Do you think the ATF is going to try and control AI?
I don't think you can. I think there should be some type of governance on AI, but I think we're too far that point now that you can't do anything about it.
It seems cool, but there's a lot of scary stuff about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like what it could lead to. Like we talked about that whole deep fake Tom Cruise thing.
Yeah.
Like unless you knew that was fake.
Yeah.
At first I thought that was Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
It totally isn't. It's the guy that's an actor that looks like Tom Cruise that the company he now owns with this other guy from Denmark just put Tom Cruise's face over him.
Yeah.
Even
AI.
though without that, he'd look like Tom Cruise, but it kind of gave him that age. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, this could ruin somebody's life real quick.
I saw one with Joe Biden, but
Yep.
it was too good because he could actually speak actual full sentences.
Yeah, it was too well put together.
Yeah.
It's like he can't talk like that.
Yeah. He couldn't do that on his good days now.
Mm-hmm. So obviously that AI hadn't had time to learn his behavior.
Yeah, that, and I've also saw like a picture of like Joe Biden, like, you know, when he was the vice president, and now they're like, this is not the same person. They think it's a conspiracy and a cover up.
It's the same guy.
Yeah, well, they're sitting there. I saw a video like him like scratching his neck and like it was like peeling up, and people were like, oh my God, it's a mask. It's like, no, it's just his freaking wrinkly skin. He's old.
Right? Some people are just freaking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, bro.
Come on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
He's doing some conspiracies, but Joe Biden is not really. Come on.
Yeah, it's like the whole Avril Lavigne conspiracy that she died, and this is her like doppelganger doing her rest of her music and stuff.
What? Why do they think she died?
There's a whole conspiracy on like she died after her first album, and that her best friend knew and wrote a song about it, and that they showed like the side by side, like certain moles are not there now, and freckles.
You can get moles removed.
Yeah, and freckles and things like that.
And Photoshop.
And then handwriting's different from when she first wrote her first album to now. It's completely different handwriting. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff out there. You go down that rabbit hole real quick.
Yeah. I was watching a Netflix series last night that just came out. Oh, what was it called? Like, Peyton Manning is the producer of it. He's got a stake in this company about sports collectibles, like just collectibles.
Oh yeah, I've been watching that.
I watched the whole 6 episodes last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and one thing was like he's like, you're talking about autographs. He's like, if you make your autograph neater, does that bring more money or not?
Yeah.
So that whole thing, like, she could have changed her handwriting or the way she signs things.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like they were showing like, because it was before like chicken scratch, and now it's like real girly and like.
And she was a punk skater
Yeah.
chick when she was younger. Probably didn't give a shit. Now that she's an adult,
Yeah, she takes her time.
like an older, like she's probably what, in her 40s ish.
She's about the same age as you and me.
Okay, so she's 25. So she,
Yeah. Yeah.
handwriting changes. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think
It's weird. Like that show is crazy. The amount of money.
What's the name of that show? I can't
Like
remember.
the Kings of Riches or something like that.
Kings of
Or Collectible of Kings or something like that.
Goldman's.
It's Goldman's is the auction house.
Yeah. And yeah, apparently Peyton Manning has stake in that. He was a executive producer on that podcast, and he was actually in the.
I would just want one of their commission checks for one of those. Did you see some of those commissions?
Yeah.
It's like, I could retire.
How can you afford, like, even if I had that much money, I would not spend $5,000 on a fucking card.
Yeah. Or like $2 million on a basketball card.
No.
That makes me want to go and find like all my football cards and see what they're worth.
Did you see the one with Logan Paul yet?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay.
I think I'm on episode 5 or 6. He just got the huge.
Well, there's only 6.
I can't remember which one.
Did he
just
get the
got
$10 million jersey? It's not
He
10
had
million.
or he fronted the guy like 12.5 million
Oh, okay, yeah.
for his collection. I was just like, what? You just floated him 12.5 million?
So you've seen the one with Jackie Robinson's jersey.
Yeah.
The guy wanted $10 million.
Yep. I saw that.
What?
Did you see the one with like the president's hair?
Yes.
I was like, what?
People collect weird shit.
That is, and it goes for money?
Yeah.
They're like, what?
The guy, he was a guy that was collecting everything Gucci.
Yeah.
It wasn't his wife's collection. That was his.
Yeah. Or the guy that collected nothing but Apple
That was cool.
PCs.
That was cool.
I was like,
actually.
what the fuck?
He had the original, the first.
Yeah. Apple one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was kind of cool, though.
That was crazy.
But yeah, the
He's like,
amount-
I got more downstairs. Like, what? He's like, yeah, I got every Apple Mac. Some of them are still in their original package sealed.
the amount of money that stuff goes for.
Yeah. Like cards these days, like I didn't realize cards were making a comeback like they are.
What are those, the break open packs?
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got to spend like a couple grand to get one, though, and hope you make.
One of those good investments.
Yeah. Because I knew nothing about that LeBron James.
The triple jersey, the triple jump man or whatever.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
That guy made 2, or was it 3 guys that went
What
in
about
on
the
it.
kid with the Lewis Hamilton racing 1 of 1?
Yeah, it didn't go to auction because the guy offered them an undisclosed amount of money.
Yeah.
It was probably $1 million, maybe a little over $1 million, but
Yeah.
I'd be like, yep. But what sucks is then they still got to pay that company commission.
Yeah.
And they don't, it's a pretty,
It looked like it was 30% on some of it.
yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Because they were originally going to offer him $750,000 for that card. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, you could go $1 million, a little over, and
Yeah.
they suspected, they claimed it was probably about $1 million appraisal.
I'm sure it did.
I think that's about what it was. I don't know, but I would have been like, yep.
No commission paid and you just make the money.
Like, why don't we talk outside of these guys and
Yeah.
let's go.
Like me and Kat been watching that every night and just watching.
It sucks. There's
episode
only
2.
6 episodes.
Yeah.
Though, so you're basically almost done with it.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it makes me like, man, these people with money just blow it on stupid shit.
That and like, how lucky would you be if you had like one of those, like especially cards?
Mm-hmm. I got a bunch of baseball cards, but trying to figure out how much they're worth and
Yeah.
get it appraised or graded.
I know I've got an old like Mickey Mantle whole like baseball book, and it has nothing but Mickey Mantle cards. I was like, I wonder how much that's worth.
I got it in stamps a long time ago when I was young. So I got a bunch of old stamps. I have no idea how to get those
Yeah, I watched
phrased.
a guy showed up like on random on my shorts today. He collects golf balls, and he has over 70,000 different golf balls.
Jesus.
He's got every car manufacturer on a golf ball. He's got like a 1917 golf ball. I was like, what in the world? I was like, I wonder how much that collection's worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just like shoes. Shoes collections are crazy.
You would know.
Some of these shoes, man.
You
Like,
got the Pat Mahomes shoes.
yeah, but watching that one where he did front that guy $12.5 million his shoes, he had the Nike Jordan Dior's, and they're like $15,000 to $20,000. I was just like, phew. And then he was wearing Jordan 1s.
Of course
Yeah,
you know the shoes.
I watch the shoes watch, but I'm like, dang, so much money.
Cool. Well, yeah, let us know what you guys think about the ATF. Should they
Yeah,
be allowed to do what they're doing? Or obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably agree with us that they should
yeah,
go away.
yeah. Or if you collect stuff, what is something weird that you collect?
Yeah, what's the weirdest thing, or what's the weirdest thing you know of somebody that they collect? Yeah, we collect guns, but I won't spend. I mean, you could spend. I have a customer that buys. Has a retirement instead of like going in 401ks and stuff like that. He's investing in older guns. So he today picked up a model 1936 Marlin 3030 lever action.
Ooh,
They only made those for 1 year.
jeez.
So he paid a pretty penny for it, but there's not very many out there. And so he's collecting all these 1 of 1,000 Colt single actions and lever actions, and he's paying more than I would ever pay for one single gun. But I'm like, hey man, if you got the money,
Yeah,
whatever.
must be nice.
Yeah, but it's and so that's his collection.
Yeah,
So he started off with the lever actions, then got stuck in these Colt single actions. Now he's kind of going back to lever actions. It's like, man, hey, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
let us know.
yeah, it'd be nice. Or you could collect whiskey or bourbon like we do also, which is not cheap.
Nope.
But at least we drink it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for this week. That's we would just wanted to complain about the ATF for a little bit, just like everybody else kind of wants to do. And
Yeah.
so with that, let us know what you guys think of the new setup. You think we should change anything?
Yeah. I like it a lot. I
do
like
too.
having this nice breeze on my face.
Yes, I'm not gonna walk out of here all sweaty.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. Well, Chris, what do you got to say?
Remember, this is a YouTube podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and tickle that bell if you're listening on any of the platforms such as Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts. Remember to follow. And with that, everyone, have a good one.